Hi class, today we're going to be talking about DGP Week 9. The first thing we want to look for is our nouns. Do you guys see any nouns in this sentence? You're probably looking at the word friends. Friends is not telling you specific names of friends, so it's going to be labeled as a lowercase n, common noun. The next word that you might notice is a game. The word chess. Chess is a thing. It's a chessboard. It's an idea, playing a game. So because of that, we're going to label it a lowercase n. It's not a specific name of a game. It's not like Monopoly. It's just a game that people play, kind of like chase or tag. The next thing that we want to look for is see if we have any verbs in our sentence. The first verb that I see, well, it's a little bit tricky. I bet a lot of you are looking at the words to play. Play would generally be an action verb, but in this case, it's starting with the word to. Well, to is usually a word I see as a preposition. I go to the box, around the box, in the box. But if that was the case, it would end with a noun or a pronoun. To the box, noun or pronoun. But this is to plus a verb. In the grammar world, we call this an infinitive. Infinitives occur when we have to plus a verb. We're going to label this in our sentence by labeling it INF. And it needs to cover both to and play. To plus a verb. That information can go in your notes. It might be helpful on a future quiz or test. An infinitive is a type of verbal, just like a participle was in a previous week. So now I still need a verb. Play wasn't a verb, even though it looked like it at first. We're looking through. Well, I know that do can sometimes be a linking verb. So I'm going to label it as a V as I figure out what kind of verb it is. I also see that like is in this sentence. I like candy. Like is seen as an action verb. It's showing the action of how you feel. I like something. You can like something. Because of that, it's an action verb, past, present, or future. It's happening right now, so it's present. What do you do when you have another verb in the sentence? It's probably not going to be a linking verb because then it would have to function as an equal sign. The do seems to be helping the word like. Because of that, we're going to label it as a helping verb. It's helping the other verb in this sentence. You might notice that this seems kind of out of order. If we were making a statement, we would say, any of my friends do like to play chess. But because this is not functioning as a statement, as we'll see a little bit later, the helping verb gets moved to the start of the sentence. Now I'm looking through, I have a few words left. I've got any, of, and your. Two of these words are going to function as pronouns. One of them is the word any. If you look in your Monday notes, you can find what kind of pronoun any is. You can have any of those candies. You can have any of those coats. In both of those situations, it's leaving it abstract. We're not sure which one we're taking. That means it's an indefinite pronoun. We're not sure specifically which one we're talking about. It's indefinite. The word your is also a pronoun. It's showing belonging to. So it's a second person possessive pronoun. All we have left is the word of. Of is a preposition. It's one of the unusual prepositions that doesn't make sense with the box. It's hard to say of the box, but other prepositions make more sense, such as of the kids in the family, of the classrooms. They make more sense. We need to memorize that of is always a preposition. Now we're ready for Tuesday. We need to start by finding our subject and our verb. Our verb we've already labeled on Monday. We want to look at the helping verb, do, and the primary verb, the action verb, like. This is the verb that do is helping. Label your primary verb V. Now we need to find out if this is a transitive or intransitive verb. We need to find our subject to do that. What is doing the liking? Is it friends? Or is it any? Of your friends is going to end up being a prepositional phrase. Our subject is not going to be a part of a prepositional phrase. That means our subject is going to be any. Any do like to play chess. We also have an infinitive in this sentence, and infinitives are a lot like prepositions. They start with an infinitive, and they end with the noun or the pronoun at the end of the infinitive phrase. We'll label this INF, infinitive, phrase. And there's also going to be an object of an infinitive, just like there's an object of a preposition. Now we can do our test. To find if there's a direct object, we'll ask the question, subject, verb, what or who? Any, like, what or who? Well, there's not just one word for this. It's not just any like chess, it's any like to play chess. So because of that, our INF in this case is going to serve as a direct object. So we'll write INF phrase as DO. It's that entire phrase. INF phrase as a direct object. That was a little tricky. Now we need to label this verb as a transitive verb. It has a direct object, so it is a transitive verb. We need to go back and find out if our prepositional phrase is an adjective or an adverb prep phrase. It seems to be modifying the word any of your friends. Because it's describing a pronoun, it's going to be an adjective prep phrase. We also need to find our object of the preposition. It's going to be the noun or pronoun at the end of the prepositional phrase. In this case, the word friends. Our last step is to do our underlining. We'll start off with our subject. We want to underline it one time. Go ahead and find your verb. Underline it twice. That's going to be part of your complete predicate. Take your helping verb and also mark it as part of your complete predicate. Now let's look at of your friends. Is it any of your friends? Then it's describing your subject. So it'll be part of your complete subject. Any to play chess or like to play chess? Like to play chess makes more sense. So we'll underline all of these words 2 times. Now we've found our complete subject and our complete predicate. Keep in mind that a complete predicate is the same thing as a complete verb. We're ready to go on to Wednesday. Every clause has a subject and a verb. In this case, our subject is the word any, and we have 2 verbs, do like. Still, there's only one subject-verb pair because it's the phrase, any do like. We'll start at the very beginning of our sentence, and we're going to go until the sentence stops making sense. Do any of your friends like? Well, that doesn't make sense. Do any of your friends like to play? Well, I guess it could make sense, but then we'd be leaving out the word chess, and that would become an orphan that doesn't have a subject or a verb living in the house with it. So we need to go all the way to the end of the sentence. If we only have one clause, we know that it's going to be an independent clause. Every sentence has to have at least one independent clause. If there's only one independent clause, it'll be a simple sentence. And we need to find the purpose. Is it making a statement? Not in this case. It's asking a question. We call this an interrogative sentence, INT. Now we can go on to Thursday. Punctuation and capitalization. Let's capitalize our first word of our sentence. Let's see if there's any commas that are needed. Do you see any commas? I don't think there's any rules in this sentence to have any commas. What about end punctuation for a question? Go ahead and put your question mark. We're ready for Friday, our diagram. How many crosses are we going to need? 1 clause, 1 cross. 2 clauses, 2 crosses. On Wednesday, we marked that there was only 1 clause, so we're going to make 1 cross. We'll start off by putting our subject on the left side. Our subject, we said on Tuesday, was the word any. On the right side, we want to put our complete verb, including any helping verbs. Don't forget to capitalize do, because that's the first word of our sentence. Was there a direct object in this sentence? Look at Tuesday. There was. It's a little confusing though, because it's going to be more than one word. We'll talk about that in just a minute. What do we have left other than our direct object to play chess? All we have left is of your friends. That's our prepositional phrase. We said it was an adjective prep phrase, and it's going to go under the word that it modifies or describes. That's the word any. On the slanted line, I'll put my preposition. On the straight line, my object of the preposition. And any modifiers go slanted underneath. If you look back on your Friday notes, we find out that all infinitives are labeled with to on the slant, just like a preposition. The verb that goes with the to goes on this line. And if there's an object of an infinitive, which in this case there is, it'll be just like a direct object. But we need to get this into this spot over here. How are we going to do that? We're going to put it up on a little house. Raise it up because it belongs on the line. To play chess. I think our diagram is finished. Let's look over our notes quickly.